Sometimes a bit more tyre. I know back in our boy racing days, it used to be the biggest wheel, the lowest profile
15
tyre.
inch for Barry. It's an ongoing joke now, isn't it?
But yeah,
So out of all those cars that you've had,
Yes.
which one do you wish you kept? If you could not put in the equation that you sold one to buy another.
XR2.
Would it?
Yes.
Was that an XR2i or just an XR2?
No, XR2.
Pepper pot wheels?
Yeah, but it didn't even have the pepper pot wheels. It had the trims, which looked like centerline.
Yeah.
So it didn't even have the alloys. And I bought that off my mate Nick.
So out of all those cool cars, you would have a Fiesta?
There's something about them,
There's something about an XR2. Just the drive of it. Even now, I look at XR2s and go, oh, I wish I still had one.
I had one as my first car.
I think I even had the wheels before I had the car.
I've done things like
I
that
bought these
before.
great big 15-inch.
Great big 15 inches. There you go.
There you go, Barry.
There you go, mate.
He slipped to my 5.
These are I'm talking width, not diameter.
Things recording as well, yeah? Right, okay. So we're good to go.
1, 2, 3.
Chris is clapping. Right, so this is podcast number 3, and we're joined with myself, Russell,
Barry.
and we've got a guest today, which is
Dave.
Right, so but what one of my first questions should have been, what's your name and what do you drive? So your name is Dave. And what do you drive?
Daily is a Range Rover Evoque.
Yeah.
And Toy is a 57 Chevy pickup.
Nice. Right, so I was with you when you went and picked the truck up.
Yes.
And it doesn't look anything like it looks now.
Correct.
It still looked beautiful when you picked it up, but
Yeah.
you have done some improvements. Can you tell us what you've done to it?
Since owning it, completely stripped out the front suspension, fully powder coated, rebuilt, bushes, bearings, ball joints, new discs, calipers. It's basically the running gear's been gone through, and then over the winter it's just had a new engine. So it was the old 305 out, and it's got a new 358 small block Chevy, which should be about 430 horsepower. So it's got alley heads, big valves, cam, new carb, inlet, everything on it.
Cool. And I actually helped you take it out, didn't I?
A couple of times. Same engine, when somebody put something together wrong.
So we took out the original.
Yes.
And then you built the new one.
Yep.
We put that in, and then about 2 days later you phoned me up and said, can you come over because...
I've put the flex plate on the wrong way around, so we need to take it out.
And you put the flex plate on the wrong way around because you YouTubed something.
Oh yeah, I YouTubed it. And
so
there's some dimples on it that bolt up to the torque converter, and I kind of looked online and went, oh yeah, I've got it the right way around. Bolted it all in, and then I can't remember how it didn't manage to bolt up, but I think it was the way the torque converter bolted to the flex plate. I realised it was now in the wrong way around.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
bad.
aggro. It was like 40 minutes, wasn't it? Out on the floor, gearbox off, flex plate swapped, back together in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an easy evening, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then you recently went to your first car show in it with the new engine. How did that go?
Very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems really reliable for the performance it's got.
That was the American
Truck Nationals.
100
miles there, 100 miles back. The only thing it did was it threw power steering belt. Let me down.
Cool.
Power steering, pulley, more than belt. It threw the pulley.
Right,
so turned through the belt.
We'll post some pictures on the screen of what your truck looks like when you picked it up, and obviously what it looks like now.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to do to it now? Or is it done?
No, it needs a more comfortable bench seat. Because it's occasionally you sit in it and one of the springs gives way.
Yeah, I find that when I'm in a truck with Dave, I start off in this position and we go round the roundabout, and I end up next to him or on his lap, which is always
because it's vinyl. It needs to be taken out and done in leather. Because Steve's had his done in leather, and he says you just don't move.
Oh, okay.
But it's very shiny vinyl, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that doesn't help.
Still cool. So you want to do some bits? You have changed the dash already, haven't you?
Yeah, all the original gauges came out because they weren't working, and it's got a new digital dash.
But it actually looks like an original dash, but it's
it's got all analog gauges and everything in it, but it all works digitally.
Yeah. Okay.
With these trucks, mate, is there any possibility of putting it on air ride or? keeping it static, as they say.
Yeah, mine's static. A lot of my air ride, but there's an awful lot of fabrication goes into making a
hell
truck
of a lot. You got to raise the bed.
Raise the level of the bed. Chassis rails need cutting, notching, plating for your airbags and everything. It's
new wheel wells in the front.
Yeah, it's an awful lot of work.
Yeah,
and yours is lowered, isn't it?
Oh, it sits down already.
Yeah.
And also, you obviously changed the wheels as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
That was pretty much the first thing you did, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
And changed the decals on the door.
Yeah, we did the decals for you.
Got rid of the old Texaco decals and got the Route 66 decals on.
Yeah. And then you had a bit of an issue with one of your wheels, didn't you? The original wheel.
Yeah, because I put it on 20s on the front.
And you, unfortunately, went
because
over
the way... Yeah, but I didn't even notice it. Because the profile was so low, to keep the rolling radius the same, it literally... put it in the garage and just realised there was a couple of little flat spots on the wheel. So I then changed them from 20s back to 18s with a higher profile tyre on, and it's been perfect ever since. And it looks right now.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It just looked a little bit too much with the 20s on the front.
Cool. Sometimes a bit more tyre. I know back in our boy racing days, it used to be the biggest wheel, the lowest profile
15
tyre.
15 inch for Barry. It's an ongoing joke now, isn't it?
But yeah, it looks so much better.
Well, it had 45s on the back. And I think it had 35s on the front, and they just looked a little bit too Lassic bandy. But now I've put 45s on the front as well on the 18s, and it just looks right.
Yeah, for how big the truck is, it looks in proportion, doesn't it? Yeah. So going, obviously you told us what's under the hood. That's one of the questions. Where did your passion for cars start?
I kind of think it stemmed from my dad originally. Because he always did his own mechanics. You know, he was a copper, but he always did his own servicing and maintenance. And if something was going on the drive, I was normally out with my dad. Yeah. He never got to the point of building things, although he has got a fully restored tractor in his garage, 56 Ford's Ferguson.
Okay.
Which is lovely. He never got into building cars, but he did get into maintaining them. I think it stems from there.
Yeah. Okay.
So it always rubbed off. I was always intrigued as to what was going on the driveway. Okay. So if he was out changing the exhaust, I was out there with him.
Cool.
So.
Yeah. And how old were you when you started realising you was probably into like a bit of a gasoline junkie? Did it start off with like
early years?
I got that in really well, didn't I?
Early years. I remember going around to my nan's house. And seeing a Ford Pop, a little black standard Ford Pop at the side of the road round by my nan's house. And I still remember I could take you and show you where it was and go, what?
I bet you still remember the number plate.
No, I don't. No, I'm not that bad.
It's got like the Rain Man.
Yeah. But it was the shape of it just kind of drew me in. And I went, one day. And then my dad took me to Custom Car Show in Alexandra Palace in 78 or 79. And from that moment on, I was just hooked.
Cool.
It just,
Cool.
So I still blame my dad for everything petrolhead that happened in my life.
He thought you spent a fortune on cars.
I don't tell him how much I spend on cars.
That was one of my questions that I was going to ask people, but I was like, you can't, can you? You're going to get...
How much? No, because the wives will know then.
Yeah.
And you can't possibly divulge that.
Yeah, so I did scrap that from my questions that I was going to ask. But talking about asking questions, you want to go next, Brad?
So, if you could do something different from the start, what would it be? As in your car history. We'll get onto your car history in a minute. But if there was one mistake that you've made in your car history so far, what would it be? Yeah. Or what would you have done differently?
Everything was done for a reason. But you kind of go, I kind of look back and go, I still wish I had my blue Ford Pop.
Yeah.
Which was stunning. But I sold that to build a Fordson.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of, although we did build the Fordson, it never got finished because we went on holiday to America and hired a Mustang, and then for the rest is history because I fell in love with a Mustang, came back and said, I want one.
Yeah.
And Lorraine said, well, just get one. So that's where the Mustang stemmed from.
I need a wife like that.
So do I.
If you want one, get one.
Funny little story. Well, it's not even that funny actually. I shouldn't
It's gonna be funny now.
I shouldn't have said that. Get payback. But you're actually still in my phone as Dave Mustang.
So there's a lot of people in my phone that are somebody Mustang. I've got Roy Mustang and
As soon as I meet people and put them in my phone, I always sort of relate their name to something that I know them with. So because I've got a memory like a sieve. so you're still under there as Dave Mustang, and you have been for what, 12 years?
More than that.
How long ago did you have your Mustang?
I had it for 11 and it's been gone for 4. So that's 15 years.
Oh, wow. It's been gone 4 years already.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah, it was lockdown, wasn't it?
It was, yes. Yeah.
Because we went to pick the truck up in lockdown.
Yeah. Good God, that's flown.
Hasn't it?
Good heavens.
But then, having the Mustang for 11 years, I got it in 2009. Right. That was when I was working away in Southend.
I think we need to jump onto the question, actually, because you've said about 10 of them already. So how many cars have you had in my history? Yeah.
Well, I counted up last night and I got to 19, but then during the day I was kind of going, I forgot about the Escort and I forgot about the Capri. So there's a few more. It's probably early 20s.
Yeah.
We'll do a quick fire round then, because when we did this last time, it went on a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
So we'll name them, and I'll count them on my fingers.
Well, first car.
We'll just go through them.
Mini 1000 Clubman.
Yep.
Second car was Beetle.
Yep.
Light blue Beetle. Then I ran that around. What did I have after the Beetle? Ford Pop.
Yep.
Because I always had. The what?
The one with the wheels that you showed us earlier?
No, so the peppermint green one. That was the first Ford Pop. Because I got rid of the Beetle to build the Ford Pop. And because of my job, I always had a van. So I didn't ever have like a daily, but I always had a nice toy.
Yeah.
So then I went Beetle, Ford Pop. And then I ran the Ford Pop for a long while. And then I sold that green Ford Pop to build the blue one, which I then sold to build the Fordson. But then once I was alongside there, when I went cars, so that I went to the point of having dailies alongside my toys. My first daily was a Mark IV 1300 four-door Cortina.
Lovely.
It was that rare when I even ran the insurance company and said I want to insure a 1300 four-door Cortina. They went, we haven't got a Ford 1300 Cortina. You sure it's not 1600? I said, no, it's 1300. Red 1300 four-door Cortina. Then I went from that to a XR3, then a second XR3, then an XR2.
Mark 1 or Mark 2?
2, silver. When I sold the XR2, I think I must have gone Cavalier, Calibra, Astra Turbo, Coupe, blue, and then I went Astra Turbo to Astra H diesel, 1.9 CDTI, and then I went to BMW 1, BMW Z4, and then Z4 to Range Rover.
Yeah, there was a Beetle in the middle of that as well.
Oh yeah, but that was a little money making thing, wasn't it? Yeah, the little blue Beetle. Yeah.
If you logbook, if it's in your
name, if you're on your logbook, you're on 17.
Yeah, 17, and then going back the other way, so we got to Ford Pop and Fordson. We got to, and then the Fordson went, and then I got the Mustang. Mustang went, and I got the truck.
Yeah.
Oh, there was an Escort 1.8 SI in the mix there.
Okay.
And then there was a Mark 1 Capri, which I bought off my mate George, which had a Rover V8 in it, and that was fully tubbed.
Nice.
Same size tyres as on that blue Ford Pop, so 15x15s under stretched rear arches, but all under original bodywork.
Yeah.
5-speed manual, 3.5 litre Rover.
So that's 21.
That's about where I got to, yeah.
And then the Range Rover.
We counted that.
Did you?
Yeah, got Range Rover, yeah.
All right,
so I went BMW ZZ and then Range Rover, yeah.
Okay.
21.
So I'm still winning. 23 I'm on.
Cool, you want to get someone with numbers, you want to get my mate James down, he's like up over 80.
Is he?
Yeah, and he's younger than me.
Oh, really?
He wrote his first car off before he even left his dad's driveway.
It sounds like something.
I'd do.
Sorry, James.
We're going to get onto a question later where I think I'm possibly going to be unbeatable at it.
Go on, yeah.
We'll get there later.
We'll get there later, but I'm just saying it's... Russell and I have come up with kind of leaderboards. So Russell's up there at the minute with the most cars.
Yeah.
I think I can categorically say you're number 2. I'm probably down here somewhere. I think Dean is a very, very close.
Yeah. Maybe
a joint second.
Yeah.
Maybe Dave has picked him to third.
Yeah.
And then I'm down here somewhere.
So out of all those cars that you've had,
yes,
which one do you wish you kept? If you could not put in the equation that you sold one to buy another.
XR2.
Would it?
Yes.
Was that XR2i or just XR2?
No, XR2.
Pepper pot wheels?
Yeah, but it didn't even have the pepper pot wheels. It had the trims, which looked like centre lines.
Yeah.
So it didn't even have the alloys. And I bought that off my mate Nick.
So out of all those cool cars, you would have a Fiesta.
There's something about
an XR2. Just the drive of it. Even now, I look at XR2s and go, oh, I wish I still had one.
I had one as my first car, a Mark II XR2.
Yeah.
On a D-Reg.
Did you buy your one, or was it given it to you?
My XR2?
Yeah.
No, I bought it.
Oh, Barry's,
no, mine was
given
to me.
To him.
No, mine was F-plate. Mine was 89
Where's that silver
F-plate.
spoon we had earlier?
89 F-plate there was, yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So yeah, I mean, if the Ford Pop came up for sale today, I'd probably look at trying to get that back.
We actually see that
the
at
blue
the show,
one.
didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still around and it's still exactly like it was built in '98, and it still looks as good today as it did then. So that stood the test of time.
It has, hasn't it? So you actually
6 years ago.
You actually built a garage to build that, didn't you?
No, I built a garage to build the Fordson in.
Oh, okay.
The Ford Pop was built in a rented lockup, which was weird. I've never seen a garage like it before, but it was in a block of garages, and it was a corner garage. So obviously, if you imagine a block of garages coming down and then turning, the two doors in the corner, the wall between went diagonally. Mm-hmm. So you had, not only did you have the size of a normal garage, but you had the length and the width
garage and a quarter,
of another corner. Yeah, so when I built the car in there, you could take the body off and put the body over there and have a compressor and the bench all the way down the diagonal wall. It was an amazing workshop to build a car, and I think I paid £5 a week for it.
Superb.
Yeah, and I was religious. I'd go when I was building it.
You have to stop banging the table because I might.
Oh, sorry.
You're supposed to turn this off.
I would go. I'd finish work at 4, and I'd go to the garage, and I'd work till 11 o'clock, and I'd leave there and come home and have beans on toast to go to bed, and then go to work the following morning. Yeah. And even at weekends, I was at the garage as well. So it was two years of a religious build to get that car done.
And did you finish it?
Yeah, that was the blue one.
No, that's a Ford Pop.
The blue Ford Pop, yeah.
Oh, okay. So what was the garage that you built for?
That was at my house in Baldock, which I built to build the Fordson in, and I had the Fordson and the Mark 1 Capri in there at the same time.
Oh, so it was big then?
Yeah, it was 26 foot long and 16 foot wide. Jesus. And I built that. But my neighbours thought I was mad. I built it in the winter.
Knowing you didn't know how to do it before you started doing it.
No, I got my mate's dad to come and...
Dave's like the cleverest person I've ever
met. Got my mate's dad to come and dig the footings, and then the concrete man come and poured the footings in, and I got a quote off a bricklayer, and it was stupid money to build this garage. And I thought, well, I'll just start on the base engineering bricks, and if I lay 600 bricks and it looks garbage, then I'll hire a bricklayer. But by the time I'd done all the bricks in the engineering bricks, it's coming on all right, so I just carried on.
And is it still standing now?
As far as I know, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's quite impressive.
I mean, that's a testament to just do it yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was the walls. It was I kind of grew up on building sites, so I kind of know. You watch people and you kind of work out how things go together. But we did everything. We did the footings, the walls. My mate was a chippy, come round and drew up how I needed to get the roof trusses ordered. And then when they went on, I thought, well, we've got this far, I might as well tile it now. So we did.
Fair play.
And it worked out. So I think it cost me about $3,000 to build this garage.
That's impressive.
But it was big.
So if you could start again, what would you do different in your car journey?
What would I do differently?
And by that, it could mean a modification that you've done to a car that at the time you thought was really cool, but then you think about it, you think, that ruined that car.
So that's one of my questions. I've been thinking about this all week. One of my questions, what's the most embarrassing thing, and it's pretty much the same now, but
what I've ever done to a car?
Yeah, so at the time you thought it was really good, and then when you look back at it now, it's like, what the fuck did I do?
I'll give you an example.
Yeah, go on.
I had a 106 GTI. Lovely leather interior, everything. Fast as hell. I took all the leather interior out and put bucket seats, took all the sound in and out, roll cage. Thought I was Colin McRae, driving down the H4 in Milton Keynes.
Yeah.
And looking back on it when I was mid to early 20s or something like that. It was a while ago. I thought I was the coolest thing since sliced bread. But thinking about it now, God, it looks stupid. And it's kind of, the more mature you've got...
Yeah, but it's like going back to originality, isn't it?
It's
like,
it is, yeah.
When I first started building Ford Pops and hot rods and things like that, you'd kind of go, I want 4-inch wider back wings or 6-inch wider back wings. So you take the stock steel ones, throw them down the tip, and then go and buy fiberglass ones.
Yeah.
Try and get hold of steel wings now. You think I've thrown 8 of them in the tip.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty stupid thing to do at the time.
Conversely, we could say that though about Mark II XR2s. I mean, I remember my one was 1,100 quid.
Yeah.
And that was 90, whatever it was when I passed my test. Now, you won't get much change out of 15, 20 grand.
No, you won't.
For a decent one. So,
I don't think there's anything I've done to it. Yeah, there is something I've done to a car that I really... Yeah, now I know what it is.
There you go.
We're going back now. So we're going... Mini was fairly standard. Then I bought the Beetle, which was what they call built in Baja style. So it was cut off back, fiberglass nose, fiberglass bonnet, fiberglass wings, big mud tyres, off-road, engine in a cage at the back hanging out.
Sounds like a very similar thing, starting point to like Russell.
Yeah.
You asked about with Beetles and stuff like that, so it seemed to be quite a common...
The difference between me and him is he could do all the work himself. I had to pay people.
So I built that, and I was 18, I suppose, 18, 19 when I built that, and it was lovely. Russ, you'll put a picture up of it.
Yeah.
Blue, black and grey. One Friday, we used to go to all the Volkswagen shows, and at the time there was a bit of a rage for having convertible Baja with nice stainless steel roll cage. Yeah. And I saw this yellow one at a show one time we were out. I can't remember where we were. I think we were down in Kent somewhere. I decided I was going to teach myself to weld. So one Friday afternoon I went to the local motor factors and I bought myself a little 130 amp MIG welder. Mum and Dad had gone away for the weekend. And when they came home on a Sunday afternoon, my lovely blue Beetle was on the driveway with the roof cut off and me welding basically the bits where I cut it off and turned it into a convertible.
Superb.
Yeah, so that was kind of... I went from a car that was probably worth $3,500 to a car that was probably worth 1,500 quid over the space of a weekend by cutting the roof off, because it never ever had a canvas roof. It did have a big stainless steel roll cage in it, and then it got completely resprayed and it was yellow, pink and grey.
So then you've now limited the time you can use it as well, haven't you?
Yes.
Because
3 days
it was freezing.
Especially in the UK.
Yeah, because we used to go out in it. I remember going out in the middle of winter and it was... Beetle heating's never good anyway.
No, it's not.
Beetle heating with no roof is worse than ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it became completely unusable and it got sold cheap and I don't even know where it is now.
That's a shame.
Yeah, so that was probably the biggest faux pas that I ever made when building cars.
There you go, that answered the question.
So yeah,
it
did happen.
That's a lot worse than mine. Mine was, I just sticker bomb the inside of my truck. You know, the doors. As you open the door.
Oh, the sticker door shuts?
Yeah, at the time I thought that's going to look well cool. It's all like skateboard stickers as well.
That's it, yeah.
All that, you know.
Buy a big pack off eBay.
Yeah, it's 100 stickers or 200 stickers, and I started sticking them on, and about 10 stickers in, I was like, this looks fucking terrible. But then in the back of my mind, I was just like, sure, that's because I haven't...
Someone's going to think this is cool.
Yeah, that's because I haven't stuck that many on, so I just carried on, and then like 20, I'm up to like 20 stickers, I'm like, this looks even worse, but maybe I get to 30 or 40, and look better.
You were committed though when you started, so you had to finish.
Stubborn, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that one out the way, right? So,
how many, if any, speeding tickets have you had?
Ooh,
how many points have you had?
Right, hold on. Have you ever been done for speeding?
Yes.
What was your? How fast was you going over the speed limit?
Worst?
No, how fast was you going over the speed limit?
In the worst one?
Yeah.
How many have you got?
86 and a 50.
Oh wow!
So that's 36.
You're leading now.
That was driving that. I got driving that Duke No Intention for that one. That was
really?
That was coming through Sandy. You know the limit in Sandy when you come down the A1 South.
Yeah.
You go over the little flyover down to the roundabout. That stretch there.
Okay.
So I didn't just get a speeding point. I got driving that Duke No Intention.
Lucky sod.
So he's now leading on that board.
He's leading on the orange.
So
on the leaderboard.
The way we do it is...
I wasn't double, but I was getting up there.
Yeah, you were double, weren't you?
I was 0.4 under double.
Yeah.
And what, in the 30?
Yeah, I was 59.6.
But as it goes over the limit...
Yeah, you're leading.
In terms of miles an hour over the limit.
I'm 36 over.
Yeah.
So how many times have you been done for speeding? How many
Yeah, I've over the space of my life, I've probably had 15 points, maybe.
Oh, okay, so you're still winning.
I'm still winning on that.
He's had 30.
Oh, I heard you.
36.
Yeah, no, I'm nowhere near that.
So that's not too bad. Then.
But that's not saying there are some out there that I shouldn't have had. That I should have had. So going back to what my dad did for a living. My dad was a copper.
Right.
He used to use this to get out of jail card.
My dad was chief super of Hertfordshire, so there weren't many people above him in the county.
Okay.
Going back to my first Ford Pop, 3.5 litre V8. One night, when I lived in Hitchin, I was driving home, as I do, and my mum and dad used to live sort of at the top of this hill, and as you got to the top of this hill, residential, but still top of the hill, turning on the left. I'm driving home, and as I came up, indicator on to turn into my mum and dad's road, these pair of headlights come screaming up behind me. I knew that. Turned into the road, and as I turned in, the blues lit up. Mm-hmm. Anyway, stopped over, and this copper gets out, and he said, I've been trying to catch you since the town. And I thought, I didn't say it, but I thought, and I went, I've got a 3.5 litre V8 and you've got a 1300 Escort Panda car, so you don't stand much of a chance. So he pulls his little notebook out of his top pocket and he said, name, and I gave him my name. And as I gave him my name, you just saw him deflate.
Oh,
he folded his notebook back up, put it back in his top pocket.
Have a nice evening, sir.
He said, I'll be having a word with your dad on Monday morning. And I thought, well, yeah, he knows how I drive because he taught me to drive.
Fair play.
So, yeah. So that was probably one of my best getaways.
That's the one they finally caught up with you.
Yeah.
So how many... Shall we go to how fast you've been?
Yeah.
How fast have you been in a car?
How fast have I been?
On private property?
Driving or passenger?
Passenger probably. Yeah.
And what was that speed?
I'm just trying to think. It was 137 in the Astra GTE.
That was going.
That was going some.
Yeah.
That was the old digital dash.
2 litre 16 valve one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they went. They went up rocking shit.
But then Lee's Porsche, I don't know what we ate the other week. It's that's a very quick car.
Yeah, we'll try and get him on.
Get Leon. Definitely get Leon. I think we're probably. That's probably. 120s is not a lot. It's
getting already. Come on, Barry, tell him.
194.
On track.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it generally was a track. I've said this in a previous podcast, but when I used to do some work for McLaren, I was very fortunate that I got to go out in a 722.
Yeah.
SLR 722.
Yeah.
With a shakedown test driver when they were testing the cars and that.
Yeah.
Right place, right time, ask the right question to the right person. Yeah, come along. A few days later, 194, straight line test.
Yeah.
And then a brake test at the end of it.
Yeah, I did
astonishingly fast.
Yeah, I mean, I did some single seated stuff at Donington, and it was one of these turn up and drive. And I turned up, and the guy looked at the height of me, and he went, "Well, you're not going to get in that, so you might as well go in that." And that was Formula Ford.
I mean, they're quick.
And that was quick.
Yeah.
And he said, you're out on the track, and you are. With all the cars that are out here today, you're kind of king of the track. He said, people will see you coming and they'll get out of your way. Yeah. And I remember coming round the left-hander onto the home straight, and there was a Gallardo in front of me, and he went, and I put my foot down, and I went past him like he was going backwards, but they didn't have speedos in those Formula Fords, so I don't know how fast I was going there.
So to beat me, you were doing 195 miles an hour down the straight, overtaking Gallardos.
I don't know
if you just say that, then you've won.
Yeah, no, I couldn't say I was. I don't think I was going that fast. It could have been 130, 140, but
yeah. Either way, in a Formula Ford, that would have been a million miles an hour because you're that far off the ground.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it felt like it.
Yeah.
Okay, right. We're going on to what's your dream car? If money was no object, dream 5 cars, isn't it?
5 cars.
So if you won the lottery tonight, what would you go and buy or put down on the list to buy?
Dodge Charger, original, 69, General Lee.
It comes up every time.
One of the guys at work, he's only young, bless him. He came up to me and he said, Dave, I know you're really into your cars. He said, if money was no object, what would you have in your garage? And I said, I'd have red 69 Dodge Charger from the Dukes of Hazzard. He went, yeah, that was a great film. I said,
did you backhand?
I said, the series was even better. And he looked at me and he went, it wasn't ever a series. And I went, how young are you? So Dodge Charger would be in there.
Hold on, would you have the flag on the top?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yes.
I think
so you'd go full replica?
Full replica, yeah.
Full race.
Yeah, would you? You couldn't have a General Lee without having the Independence flag on the roof.
No.
It's not right.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Rolls Royces around Milton Keynes? It's done up like the General Lee.
No.
It's hideous. It's an
old
old
Hill garage.
It's not there anymore, but no, it's just recently closed down. But he had it out there for a long time. But it was everything was, the colour was right of the wheels.
The flag?
It did have.
It had the 01 on the side, didn't it?
Did it really?
Yeah, you could hear it a mile off.
Yeah. It was like an old silver. Was it Silver Shadow? Or
Silver Shadow, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, that's a beautiful car.
And you've gone.
You just made it look like a cheap piece of shit, really.
Yeah, no, it'd have to be the original.
Yeah.
The original shape, the original colour, original markings. So that'd probably be number 1. I've always had a hankering for the Plymouth Roadrunners and the Super Bees with the big wing over the boot.
I said that as well.
Yeah.
Plymouth Superbird would be up there for me.
Yeah. GT500 Mustang, original.
Yeah.
68, 69. I've got a thing about Porsche Speedsters.
That's one of mine, actually.
Yeah, 356. One more.
Would it be a Fiesta?
Would it be an XR2? In my dream garage? No, probably not. I'll probably go something really bizarre. Like a 1275 Clubman, 1275 GT Clubman.
Oh.
With the slant nose at the front, slant grille at the front.
The flat grille rather than
the flat?
Yeah. With another bizarre story which has just flagged into my brain.
Go for it.
This is not known by many people, especially the person who owned the car at the time.
So this is a safe space, by the way.
Yeah, that's good. No one's going to see this.
Oh, that's it.
Oh dear.
Screenshot.
That looks like it's ready for banger racing.
Yeah. Screenshot that out. Yeah, I'll add that to the video.
A friend of mine who may or may not see this, and his father who may or may not see this, his father used to own a Ford dealership in North London, so he always had the latest cars. And one weekend when I had my Beetle, so I was only 18, 19, I turned up at his house, who will remain unnamed, to find him washing an RS500 Cosworth on the driveway. Black. RS500 Cosworth. And I said, who's this? He says, my dad's. I said, where's your dad? He said, South Africa. I went, why? He said, I'm just washing it. He didn't even have a licence at the time. He couldn't drive.
This sounds like Ferrabuta's day off.
He turned around and threw the keys at me and went, come on then, you're driving. And we took this RS500 Cosworth out, round the lanes on the outskirts of Hitchin, and it was the quickest, scariest thing I'd ever driven. Jeez. And to this day, even at his wedding, I said, is it now not time to tell your dad about the time we took the Cosworth out? And he went, no, he should never know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
so
sure,
something at that age.
I'm sure you don't
it could have gone. It could have gone seriously.
Could have gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, but it didn't, and we all lived, and you know.
Wow.
And he still doesn't know.
Imagine having that now. Yeah. I think one's recently sold, hasn't it?
They're up in they're 6-figure cars
One
now.
sold at the Silverstone auction for $250,000, didn't it?
Yeah.
255.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I think that was out of the Bonkers RS collection or something like that.
Yeah, it had silly low mileage on it, didn't it?
Better than new Concours spec.
Yeah.
Right, would you buy an electric car?
Never, ever, ever.
Good.
Should you ever ask a petrol head that silly question?
Right, okay. We jump past that one.
It won't ever happen. And I read today that the first dealer-released hydrogen vehicle's gone on sale in Australia.
Okay.
I think it's a Hyundai.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think it is.
So I think that's the way it'll go. For everyone who drives an electric car, you're driving a Betamax. That's what it is.
It was funny. Again, we're not going to gloss too much over this because we're all about gasoline and sparks and combustion. But strangely, at work today, we were looking at the price of 3-year-old Audi e-trons, and I think they're beautiful, beautiful looking cars. But for 34 grand, when they were 120 new 3 years ago, it's appealing.
What we need to do is buy a load of them and put LSs in them.
Yes,
that would be
a nice car.
With a fucking great supercharger coming out the top as well. A 9-inch diff on the back.
Yeah, blown LS in an Audi e-tron.
When we make it, Russ.
That can be. So we're doing a.
So that's one of the 5. Can we have 6 cars in the garage? We'll have a blown LS Audi e-tron.
Do what you want. You're going to be a millionaire, I think.
Yeah.
One of the. So what's your favourite movie car, or movie or TV?
Yeah, we're back in the garage.
Yeah.
Generally.
So that's literally come up at every single
That's everybody's favourite so far.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, Dean didn't. Dean did something else.
Dean went Blues Brothers, didn't he?
No.
Did it?
No.
Mystery Machine?
No. Mystery Machine.
There's a Mystery Machine in Bedford. I was doing a job and I was like, they got a Mystery Machine in their driveway. all written, signed.
Negotiator or something like that?
Shit, what was it? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Not the Mad Max thing.
No.
No, it wasn't the Interceptor.
No.
It was nothing we thought of.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's gonna bug me.
No, it was one of his favourite cars with the Blues Brothers. Or
No, that was his car chases.
Car Chases, beg your pardon.
Yeah.
That can be the next question while we're thinking.
Yeah.
What's the best car scene that you've seen in a movie?
Car chase. Everyone always goes Bullet. Because it's kind of
nobody's gone Bullet.
Nobody said Bullet.
The Bullet car chase is good, but I always like the one with the yellow Ferrari from The Rock.
Yes, brilliant.
Yeah, great car chase. Yeah. Sorry, banging on the table. Great car chase, that.
That was a 355, wasn't it?
355.
Yeah, yellow 355.
Yeah. That's a good one, actually.
Yeah, because it's kind of with the trams off the rails sliding down.
And the Hummer flying down the hills in San Fran,
Yeah, that is cool, actually.
That is a very good
car chase, that is.
Speaking of that, I know it's very, very far-fetched, but the Dodge Viper in Wanted, driven by Angelina Jolie. At the beginning where she does the silly pirouette, opens a door and the guy just
jumps in.
gets in.
Yeah, but that's all getting far-fetched like it is on all the Fast and Furious, jumping cars between buildings and skyscrapers. It's where'd you stop?
Okay. We got any more questions, Barry? Done that one.
Ugliest car ever.
Yeah.
Ugliest car ever built?
In the world, American, wherever. In your opinion, what is the ugliest car?
The one I always go back to as being hideous is the Fiat Multipla.
That's been said every time.
Yeah.
Jeremy Clarkson coined it. He said this car was designed by 2 people who apparently never met each other. And I think, he's right.
He is right.
So that's hideous. The Americans have had some hideous creations in the time.
Yeah.
But a lot of the American stuff, like the early Grahams and the Nashes and things like that, are that ugly that they're beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like you got a 39 and 41 Willises. Hideous looking cars, but they are what you make them when you hot rod them.
Yeah.
Because, shark nose Grahams and things like that. My wife looks at them and goes, that is hideous.
Yeah.
I'd love one of them.
The funny thing is...
My dating profile, that ugly,
you're that ugly, you're attractive.
Yeah.
It's funny, we know you've done Route 66, you've done Gas Monkey and everything.
Yeah.
I can say I'm insanely jealous of you doing it. I'm sure Russell can as well. Yeah. But me and my wife, we used to watch that show religiously. Yeah. And the Nash Healeys that him and Dennis used to sell, my wife would go, God, they're ugly cars. But to me, I think they're absolutely stunning. I think they're just beautiful, beautiful cars.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Right, so going back to the Route 66, because it's something that we say...
See how I tied that in there?
I know, it's clever.
Very smooth.
Something that every petrol head would want to do.
Yeah.
You've actually... fortunate enough to do it.
Yeah.
What did you do it in?
Convertible Mustang.
Oh, you did do it in
5 litre V8, yeah.
Oh, cool. And was that the same as the one that you owned?
No, it was the later version. It was the S550 that we did it in, yeah.
And would you do it, if you had the opportunity to do it again, would you do it in that? Or what would you...
You know what I'd like to do it in? There's a company in America called Rent-A-Wreck.
Oh, okay.
And you can just buy the biggest POS, or rent the biggest POS that you can, that's second-hand falling apart. You'd probably end up stopping at motor factors all the way across America.
That's really cool,
It'd be like a 78 convertible Firebird or something like that. There's absolute garbage.
With no roof.
So I'd probably want to try and do it in something like that. Either that or I would buy something super cheap and just see if you could get it all the way across America.
That's a good call, actually.
Because the cost of the one-way hire, because you hire it in Chicago and then you drop it off in LA, it's colossal.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's not a bad
It's
deal,
like,
is it?
it's like $1,500 because you're hiring it from there and dropping it off there. Whereas if you drove it there and drove it back to Chicago,
so
it's just a normal hire.
You're literally buying a car as you land,
you're
driving it there and then just leaving it and off you go.
It almost sounds like something Top Gear have done. Or it sounds
it's almost like a challenge.
It sounds like you're proposing a challenge to us in the future.
Yeah, fly into Chicago, give yourself a $2,000 budget, and buy a car, drive it across America, and then see how much you can sell it for when you get to the other end.
That's really cool. I like that.
That sounds very cool.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Just keep it going all the way across America.
So, money no object.
Yeah.
What would you do Route 66 in? Purely for comfort, speed, nostalgia?
It'd have to be convertible because the weather was just fantastic.
Yeah.
Out through Nevada. We did as much of it as we could with the roof down.
That's pretty nice.
And I think there was one day in Illinois when it was chucking down, we had the roof up. And then one day when we were going out, we just left Vegas and it got to like 42 degrees and we had to put the roof up to put the aircon on because it was that hot.
Yeah.
So, convertible. I think I'd probably go back to the Porsche 356.
That would be nice to do it in that.
Stunning.
Yeah.
356 Roadster.
Yeah.
Across America. Or, if money was no object, I'd go original steel 32 Ford Model B Roadster with small block.
Yeah, nice.
What did you say, Russ, for yours? I can't remember.
I think we said we'd do it in the General Lee.
Yeah.
Well, there was a couple of little options.
Yeah.
We'll do it in the General Lee, but here we have to flag on top of these, and I won't, and we'll see.
Oh yeah, we'll see who can make it to the other room without being killed.
That was one of the options, but then I started going down the route that if you're going that far, would you go for creature comforts?
Nah.
You wouldn't?
I think I said the original Lincoln Continental with the suicide doors.
Yeah.
Because it's one of my favourite.
Early 72, 73, yeah.
Have you ever seen the film on the TV series Entourage?
No.
No. We'll find a picture of it, put it up somewhere.
Yeah.
On
It's basically the same as what JFK was showing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I know the car, yeah.
Yeah.
I just think they're gorgeous.
They are lovely.
Subtly modded, dropped, big wheels.
Yeah.
I just think
Wires.
they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
Right, so something that's just come in, a question that's just come in. If you did Route 66, would you go with AC or radio? You can only have one.
Radio.
Really?
Yeah, I can't go anywhere without my music.
Driving tune.
Oh, yeah, okay. So your driving tune. So with the driving tune, do they have to play it the whole way through?
We've sort of said this is the last bit of your...
This is the one that really gets me going.
End credits, you in that car, what song?
Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, It Takes Two.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
You know it?
Yeah. You have to sing it to me if you really want
It's on my phone. I can.
Show me later.
I know what it is, but I'm not singing it.
Yeah, no, you can't really sing it, but it's kind of a record from my youth.
Okay, all right, I like that.
It's it's a bit rappy.
That's what you'd finish your journey in.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I love that record.
Right, we got more questions coming in or not?
Maybe you like.
Ultimate Track Day.
Oh yeah.
Ultimate Track Day.
Go on, Barry. This is more.
Ultimate Track Day. So any circuit in the world. I can't remember if you're Formula One fan or not.
Loosely Formula One fan. Yeah.
So you're familiar with certain tracks around the world. Any track in the world, in any car, what would you do it?
What's the... Oh, there's a track on Gran Turismo. What's the one with the drop? Where you can't go over
Seca.
Yeah, Laguna Seca. Laguna Seca would be the track.
This is the one that made you ejaculate again.
Yeah.
Oh, what did I do it in? Cool, that's not easy.
No.
Because you have the whole range of cars from anything you want to go around Laguna Seca in. I'd probably go mad and have something like a Roadrunner, the Superbird or something like that. Something that wouldn't handle, but does go like stink.
That's good for going in a straight line, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you would have so much fun going through the corkscrew.
Yeah, it'd be in the gravel and in the tyres, but money's no object, so you'd just get somebody else to fix it.
This is it.
Yeah. So Superbird.
Superbird round Laguna Seca.
I did do a track day on up at Bovingdon. You go up there. Have you been up there?
Yeah.
So they've got like Atoms and Subarus, and because they've got a Porsche.
Yeah.
They've got a Bullet Mustang, 69.
Okay.
Highland Green Bullet Mustang. And I went up there and it was chucking down. And they send you out on this track, and there was a guy in front of me, and he was in not an Atom. Or was he in an Atom? He might have been in the Atom. Anyway, I'm out on this track, and I don't take prisoners, and I got an instructor next to me, and we came out of the bend that goes onto the straight, and admittedly I gave it a little bit too much welly coming out the bend, and it went right, so I flicked it left, and then it overcorrected, and I had to give it a bit of right, so we were snaking down there, and I could see the wheat field over there, and then the middle of the track, and then the wheat field, and I saw the instructor go, like the instructor strapped himself in like that, and I just kept my foot in and kept it back in the line and got it straight, pulled out, and he looked at me and he went, all right? And he went, go on then, go. And it was chucking down with rain, and when you go round there, the instructors that are with the other drivers are told to pull over if something fast has come in.
Yeah.
I'm in a car that doesn't handle, so a 69 351 Mustang. I'm coming up behind a guy in an Atom that obviously can't drive, and the instructor told him to pull over and let me through.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's very cool.
Right, so in your car journey, what's the worst car you've ever owned?
Oh, that'd be the Mark IV 1300 4-door Cortina.
That would it?
Yeah.
Because it didn't exist with insurance.
Yeah, that was, yeah. And the radio never ever worked.
Yeah, because you are into your music, aren't you?
Yeah, the radio never worked. You could have the radio turned up forward, and you'd hear this coming out. And apart from one night when we went out, and we'd been to karaoke up a place up the A1, and my mate said, if we go past Blenheim, he said, there's a humpback bridge. He said, we might be able to get some air off the humpback bridge. So there's 4 of us in this Mark IV Cortina, and we went so fast over the humpback bridge, as we landed, it kind of crashed us front balance into the ground. And as we landed, Dukes of Hazzard style, the radio all of a sudden went, wah! And the music started coming out of the car. And that was the only time it ever played music.
I think that's comparable to Russ's Penny story.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yes, I think that's... they're 2 of my favourites so far.
Self-fixing.
It was garbage. It was. I lived with not in any kind of love pattern, but I lived with an MOT tester at the time.
Right.
This Cortina was rotten.
Get his car fixed.
Yeah. And I'd go home and I'd go, we need an MOT, and he'd go, I'll get you one tomorrow, and he'd literally come home with a blank MOT form and go.
Was his name Wayne? The same one I was on.
It was almost like MOTs by post. So you just fill it in yourself.
Yeah,
brilliant.
But it was, he said, I seriously can't MOT that car. It's just rotten underneath.
Yeah.
I think I paid £100 for it. That's how bad it was.
Brilliant.
The thing is, back in the day, you could buy cars for like £100.
You could,
£500.
Yeah, you'd buy a car for £100 and run it round for a year.
But they weren't just like little shitty cars. They were decent cars.
Back then you could buy cars with tax and ticket on. Stick a bit of third-party only insurance on it, and go out and drive for 180 quid,
something
like that.
It was like a throwaway car, wasn't it? So
but cars back then used to rust.
Yeah.
Like there was no tomorrow. They would have made out of like Titanic steel, but they would just rot.
Yeah.
You don't see that now.
No.
You had a 10-year-old Cortina back in the early 80s, and the wheel arches were hanging out of it.
Yeah.
If you've got a 10-year-old Focus now, it looks fine.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool. Right, so have you got any, obviously you have because you've brought up loads of them now, but have you got any more funny stories about your driving experience and just owning cars?
What have we done? Have we done the one about the copper with the notebook?
All right. Have you ever been in car crashes?
I was actually just going to say.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any that you want to talk about?
Not really.
What was that your fault?
Yeah, one was my fault.
Okay.
I don't think I've had many my fault accidents.
I've never had a car crash. Kind of. So I had somebody driving to the back of me when I was parked up. So it wasn't like
no, that's not your fault.
No,
but that wasn't my fault. But I think it right.
That's more being in an accident.
This is a safe spot, right? So I used to have remember my red BMW?
Yep.
I replaced the rear lights with these Lexus. Remember the Lexus lights?
Lexus
a big
lights,
thing?
yeah.
Right, so I bought these Lexus lights and I've fitted them in, and but after about 6 months they stopped working, and then sometimes they would work, and then sometimes they wouldn't work.
But in your eyes, they were still working.
Well, I never see them, so unless somebody said your lights weren't working, but there was a point where somebody says your lights didn't come on when you broke. I was like, oh, okay, but I was stopped at this traffic light, and this bloke's crashed into the back of me, and he's gone, oh, I'm really sorry. I was like, I'm really tired. I've been working all night. It's definitely my fault. And I wasn't going to say it wasn't. So, I don't know. It could have been that they weren't working.
I did.
Technically, it was maybe my fault.
Yeah, I did write off a works van coming home from work from London one night on the A1. It was when they were building the Hatfield Tunnel, and all the traffic used to just, all of a sudden, everyone was on the brakes. And I hit the back of this Metro, and then I kind of left the motorway. She went that way into the Armco, and then she bounced off and hit a Rover SD1 that was driven by one of my dad's mates.
What's the chances?
Yeah. I went kind of across the slow lane, across the hard shoulder, up a bank, through a fence, and into a ditch. It was a Marina van.
Oh.
And my toolbox, because they never had bulkheads in those old vans, my toolbox hit me on the shoulder. From the back doors, it flew. As we stopped in the ditch, this toolbox got airborne through the van and hit me on the shoulder. Yeah. And the woman in the Metro wasn't happy because she had a full week's shopping in the boot of her car. I remember getting out, and there were eggs running out the gap of the back of the boot, but you couldn't open the boot and get her shopping out because it was just wedged shut where I'd hit her.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, bless her.
So that was my worst ever. I've had little nudges, but nothing.
Knowing me, I've had quite a few. I think you know a few about them. Do you know about Belgium?
No.
No. Going back, you had a Calibra.
Yeah.
Very good mate of mine, years and years ago, had a Calibra Turbo, about 340 horsepower, fast about with it. We went over to Belgium for a Vauxhall car show.
Yeah.
And we went in convoy, and there was do you remember the Mark II Astra GTE Champion? It was the maroon colour, and it had limited edition BBSs on it. It was a very, very limited. Anyway, that had a Calibra turbo motor in it.
Yeah.
And that thing was about 300 horsepower. But because it was a lot lighter than us, we actually raced there, raced back, whatever. So we're going through Belgium and doing a very excessive speed. And suddenly my mate goes, something doesn't feel right. So he slowed down.
And you're in the Calibra?
We're in a Calibra.
Yeah.
The Astra's gone. My mate's gone, something doesn't feel right. So he's pulled it down to double figures, and suddenly the steering wheel's gone, and the passenger wheel has flown off.
Left, yeah.
Yeah. So he's managed to pull it onto the hard shoulder, and me being in the passenger seat has just watched this wheel go across 4 lanes of Belgian motorway, amazingly not hit anything, and come to a rest in a central reservation.
Wow.
And it's the only time that we've caused a rolling roadblock. To retrieve the wheel, wait for recovery, which if you've ever tried to get a car recovered from Europe into Britain, took us 19 hours to get home.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
But yeah, see the wheel come off, and
what had he done? Broke the wheel studs or just lost the wheel studs?
He thinks a track rod end went, and it went very violently. The shaking just shook the wheel, just sheared the wheel nuts, and I think three of them sheared, took the other 2 with them, and the wheel just fucked off. Yeah, and the last one. If you're coming past Kingston in Milton Keynes and you go down to Brownswood Old Farm Park, there's that roundabout. Yeah. That left one to Old Farm Park, when you go round that slight bend like that, I took out that lamppost there in a Ford Orion.
Did you?
Yeah. It was either that or hit a beamer, so I took out the lamppost.
Yeah, take the lamppost every day.
But yeah, to get a bill from Milton Keynes Council for a lamppost
was probably more than the beamer.
Exactly, yeah.
Jesus, you should have gone into the BMW.
I should have, yeah. But yeah, that's two of my checkered history. You can see why now I've had 36 points.
You can, yeah, definitely. So he's doing quite well on the leaderboard still.
Yeah.
But Dave's
unashamedly, I think Dave's up there for proud things.
Oh yeah.
Mine are a little bit sketchy.
You've had a cool car history, haven't you, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been...
I think,
over
out of all the ones that you've showed,
pictures
you've showed me and cars that I know you've had, I'd still think the Mustang is my favourite. It was beautiful.
It was a lovely car.
Yeah.
It was a lovely car.
I remember you picking me and the boys up, and
we did Brad's prom in it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, but when the boys were even younger, so I think Brad was maybe 10, Cooper was about 6. You picked us up and you took them for a little spin. And the roof was down. It was a beautiful day, and you just come out of our estate, put your foot down, and went round the roundabout. And from one roundabout to the next roundabout, you must have done nearly 100 mile an hour easy. And I just remember looking behind them, and the two little boys, the smiles on their faces, but the G-force as well was just like their head was pushed back, and they go. It's like it was lovely.
It was a good car.
Yeah, beautiful.
But I think that sums up ultimately what cars are all about.
It is. Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Smiles for miles.
Something that makes you smile.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the truck you've got now.
I love the truck.
The fact that you've obviously stripped it down to the extent you have and rebuilt it.
Yeah.
It's your pride and joy, isn't it?
It is.
So
I've always had something to tinker with.
And this would probably be the last question, maybe.
Yeah.
If you was to get rid of the truck, what would you get next? Because there's always an option, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you had somebody recently say...
They were interested in it, yeah. I'd probably stay truck. I might go slightly newer. I might go square body C10.
Yeah. Right.
Something like that.
That's one of my favourites.
Or going back to the Porsche Speedster. There's, so many options. Classic Mustang would be nice to have one of them for a while.
Yeah.
But I tend to have cars and fall in love with them and then don't want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
The Mustang came to the point where I'd had it for 11 years. 11 years, and there was nothing to do. And I lost that ability to tinker with it. Because that's what I enjoy. I enjoy being out in the garage. And
half the fun of having a car is the tinkering side of it.
Yeah. Oh, indeed.
Even my truck. It wasn't really 100% finished by the time I got rid of it, but there wasn't really much I could have done more.
Yeah.
That I wanted to do too anyway. So I was just like, it's time to go and get something else.
Yeah, I mean, I've got friends that keep saying, you built enough cars in your day, you should crack on in the garage and build another one. But getting a bit set in my ways now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Starting to relax.
Yeah, it's still there. I don't mind helping other people do it, but I just don't know whether I could take on the task of a full project again.
Yeah. I mean, how long did the Ford Pop take you? That must have been your biggest build, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 years that was.
Was it?
2 years start to finish.
Oh, wow.
But lots and lots of hours.
And when you bought that, was that like standard?
Yeah. I've got some photographs. I'll let you have a photograph of that.
All right.
It was a standard car. Bought it from Stoke-on-Trent.
Did you buy it with a vision of how it ended?
Yeah.
Or you did?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because sometimes you buy things and it just evolves.
No, I knew where I was going with it from start to finish. I think I even had the wheels before I had the car.
I've done things like
that. I bought these
before.
Great big 15-inch.
Great big 15 inches. There you go.
There you go, Barry.
There you go, mate.
He slipped to my 5.
These are I'm talking width, not diameter.
That's mad. 15. Yeah. I had that. Remember my Vitara? I think you helped me change the water pump on it, didn't you? Back in the day.
What colour was your Vitara?
It was grey originally, and then I sprayed it
black.
Yeah,
I remember it. Yeah,
in front of my house. But I think the water pump went, and he was like, "Oh, just bring it around and
we'd do it." Yeah.
Yeah, which we did. But yeah, that was that had 10.5-inch wheels on it, and I always remember that being like that. To me, that just looked insane, and it was a pain in the ass when you used to drive it through water because it used to aquaplane.
Yeah.
Which is scary because I've never been in anything that done that before. So you're just driving along, and all of a sudden the car would just kind of like lift up, and then it just kind of start turning, and then you'd be over the other side of the road.
The pop, the blue pop that I owned with the small block and the big 15-inch wide well, 18.5-inch wide tyres. We left the car show one year on a Sunday afternoon. It was raining, and we left, and there was a few of us, all with the same style cars. So we're all Pro Street cars with big 18.5-inch rear tyres, and we were going up a hill which was probably only like a 1 in 6, 1 in 8 hill.
Yeah.
And there was that much water coming down the hill, and with that much rubber on the road, it just literally makes the back end float. And we were we were left hand
drifting before.
Yeah, we were only doing 15, 20 mile an hour, but the back end of the car was just sliding left towards the gutter. And me and Russ we always go back to that point where we had to stop because you couldn't drive because the back of the car was floating towards the curb.
Really light, yeah. But obviously, you helping me out with cars and that. You took my Porsche 944, didn't you?
The rusty one.
The rusty one. Which I was under the impression that it was galvanised, so it's fine. So it basically for 10 years it kind of like stayed in people's drives for like 10 years. And it did become a bit of a pain in the arse.
I think the plates that someone had riveted onto it were galvanised, but they'd riveted onto the rust. No,
so from what I can gather, from what I've learnt since, the panels, like the wings and the doors and everything were galvanised. The underneath was just normal
tin,
tin basically, and it just
when I took
it was wrong.
I remember taking the patches off. You said, it said someone's put some patches on it.
Yeah.
And when I took the patches off, the gaps,
there was nothing
left. No, I don't even know how they managed to rivet. How you rivet galvanised panels to the underneath of a rusty Porsche is beyond me. But
that was the red one.
Yeah,
the red one. Yeah. So
that's where it died on my driveway.
So he basically phoned me up and said, "Come and have a look at this.
Come and have a look at this big rusty square on my driveway where the seals had fallen out of this car." And I think it went from there to... You sold it for spares, didn't you?
I sold it for £500. I think the guy just wanted the wheels and the seats because it had the nice seats on it, didn't it? Yeah.
It ran, didn't it?
It drove. Running, it drove, yeah. I drove... The only time I had it for 10 years, and I only ever drove it to the MOT station and back.
Did the MOT tester laugh at you?
No, it passed.
Did he?
So it drove there. It was
it MOT by post?
No.
Was it one of our dodgy
mates? Yeah, I think it might have been, yeah.
It was Wayne. No, it was... So it drove to the MOT. It did fail on a couple of things, but nothing major. So they fixed it, paid them a few £100, whatever, drove it back.
Did he put the galvanised plates underneath it?
No, somebody else did. He was trying to help, bless him, but it didn't really help. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, right, so I think we'll wrap this up unless you've got anything else to ask of you.
No, mate. I think that's been it's been a great one, as always.
Been all right.
Thank you for coming on, Dave.
Thanks for having me.
Sharing your stories. I'm sure this isn't going to be the last time you'll be on because I think some of your pals want to.
Yeah, I've got a few lined up, I think.
Yeah, they want to come on as well, so we might have to do a bit of adjustment with this little area.
We could do that, or I can stand over there and hurl questions at them.
Shout them. Yeah. That's your job, isn't it, Chris? Yeah. Right, so as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Do you want to say what you normally say?
See you later.
Is that what you normally say?
Yeah.
Logo, yeah.
Oh yes, no, the publicity bit. No, that's what it is, wasn't it? Like, comment, subscribe. If there's anything you want to see, drop it in the comments below.
Yeah, and you will be able to get some merch soon as well. Every time I turn up, I've got something different on. It's cost me a fortune. Right, thanks for watching. That was cool. Cheers, dude.
Nice one.
I like that.